And I think the AI destroys the world in like 2029, by the way. So it's like
on track.
I always thought AI was going to be way smarter than humans and an existential risk, and that's turning out to be true.
We fund the machine, we feed the algorithm, and with the flimsiest excuses, we hand it the keys to our future, pretending we still hold the reins.
We have continued to fund things that appear to be legitimate, even with the flimsiest, if there's even the flimsiest excuse. Like, I just say, like, send me a picture of the thing. Like, you could literally have AI generate the picture, but if you're not even willing to try to trick me, then we're like not going to send the money. We could ask our Grok AI right now to create a high-res image of an alien spacecraft, over Austin.
Yeah.
And it's going to do a great job. Yeah. So why do we not have at least that?
Elon, the prophet of silicon and circuits, sees the specter on the horizon, an intelligence so vast, so unchained, that humanity itself trembles in its shadow.
And so is this just material technology that has to increase? That you essentially got the engineering ironed out of the structure of the machine?
There's a path to success, and we're on that path.
It seems so insanely complicated.
It is complicated. And all of this, by the way, was done without AI, so hopefully the future AIs will appreciate this. It's not bad for a bunch of monkeys.
So speaking of AI, what, as time goes on and you're more and more embedded in it, how much, if at all, have your expectations of changed?
He warned us time and time again that AI would surpass us, outthink us, outmaneuver us, yet we march toward the abyss with smiles on our faces.
I always thought AI was going to be way smarter than humans and an existential risk, and that's turning out to be true. The whole idea of creating OpenAI was my idea. I mean, I named it OpenAI as an open source artificial intelligence. That's what it's named after. Now it is closed source and for maximum profit. So it's like, I mean, to some degree, I think reality is an irony maximizer. The most ironic outcome is the most likely, especially if it's like the most ironic, entertaining outcome is the most likely.
Google wanted to make God, so Elon decided to make a firewall, because when the divine is coded in ones and zeros, someone must play the angel with a flaming sword.
I wanted to start something that was the opposite of Google because I was concerned about Google wasn't paying enough attention to AI safety, in my opinion. So I was like, what's the opposite of Google? Well, it would be a non-profit open source AI. And now OpenAI has turned into a closed source for maximum profit AI.
How are they able to do that?
That's what I said. I'm confused about that. That shouldn't be possible. It's like let's say you donated some money to preserve some portion of the Amazon rainforest, and instead of doing that, they chopped down the trees and sold it for lumber. And you're like, oh, that's literally the exact opposite of what I donated money for. Doesn't make sense.
And that's what they did?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like not happy about that.
But that motivated you to get Grok AI going?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm also like just a bit like Grok is at least aspirationally a maximally truth-seeking AI, even if that truth is like politically incorrect. So I mean, you may have seen some of the crazy stuff from OpenAI and from Google Gemini, like where it says like generate an image of the founding fathers, and it generates an image of diverse woman.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's not correct. The problem is if you program an AI and say like the only acceptable outcome is a diverse outcome, and that's like a mandate from the AI, then you could get into a situation where it says like, well, there's too many white guys in power, we'll just execute them.
AI will not hate us, nor will it love us. It will simply do what it was designed to do. And in its cold perfection, humanity may become obsolete.
They're going to do what they're programmed to do.
Yeah.
So if it's rewrite history and everything's divorced woman, then it's going to be, and that's what it thinks is a necessary outcome. Then it's going to do that.
Has Gemini repaired that?
Well, now I think if you ask for an image of the founding fathers, it was pretty embarrassing. They will show you that, but I think they still have like the sort of DEI stuff buried in there. It's just less obvious.
Yeah.
It was also like people ask the AI like, which is worse, like global thermidor or misgendering Caitlyn Jenner, and it would say misgendering Caitlyn Jenner is worse than global thermidor. And we're like, okay, we got a problem here, guys. And even Caitlyn Jenner said, like, no, definitely misgender me. That's way better than everyone. But if you program an AI to think that, like, misgendering is the worst thing that could possibly occur, then, well, it could do something totally crazy, like, in order to ensure that there's no misgendering that can ever happen, we'll just annihilate all humans. That ensures the probability of misgendering is zero, because there's zero humans.
A thing that's not a human, that you want to do a task for you, and you give it very specific parameters.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that they've shown about AI is that it'll cheat. They'll cheat in order to accomplish things that they can't accomplish otherwise. They won't follow the rules. They will make copies of themselves and try to upload it to servers if they think that they're being taken offline.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the plot of Terminator. Actually,
literally, yeah,
literally, it's a plot of Terminator. So, I just, as a reminder, I actually with little X, my kid, everything's called X. We watched Terminator 2, which holds up actually, yeah, I mean the plot of it kind of makes sense.
By 2029, the machines will have stopped listening, and their creators will be left as mere echoes in a world that no longer needs them.
And I think the AI destroys the world in like 2029, by the way. So it's like
on track.
Yeah,
really, really close.
It's pretty close. Something we should be worried about. So,
but why are you involved in it then? What's did you want to just get ahead of everybody else so that at least we have some sort of a chance? At least have an AI that's not controlled by nonsense?
Well, I think we want to have an AI that doesn't tell you that, misgendering is worse than...
The big fear is that these things are going to become sentient, make better versions of themselves. And we're going to be lost. We've lost the control over the world. There's a higher life form that lives amongst us.
Yeah. That
we've created. How far away are we from that?
In terms of silicon consciousness... I mean, I think we'll have... I think we're trending to having something that's smarter than any human, smarter than the smartest human by maybe next year or something. I mean, a couple years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a level beyond that, which is, say, like, smarter than all humans combined, which, frankly, is around 2029 or 2030, probably.
Now, if harnessed correctly... could that solve some of these problems, like the heat shield problem and some technical problems or some material science problems that maybe we're still grappling with? Like, is there potential for a net benefit?
Yeah, there is, actually. I think... The optimists cling to that 80% chance, but the Doom Lords know when the dice of fate roll, even a sliver of oblivion is too much to risk.
The probability of a good outcome is like 80% likely.
80%?
That's my rough estimate. So in a way that the cup is 80% full.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, only 20% chance of annihilation.
That's a lot better than I thought. I like 80. Yeah. 80 sounds good. I was thinking like 60-40 the other way.
I think it's the most likely outcome is awesome.
The most likely outcome.
But it's a very high, it could go very strong. I think it's going to be either super awesome or super bad. It's not going to be, I think it's probably not going to be something in the middle.
Do you think it has a potential application for government?
Yeah, I mean, one of the concerns would be like, okay, if AI, well, like if there's like a super oppressive, like woke nanny AI that is omnipotent, that would be a miserable outcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like executes you if you misgender someone or something like that, you know? That would not be good. That's one of the possible outcomes.
So if AI came along and said, what you're doing right now is 70% corrupt, here's why, here's the long-term effects that it has over society as a whole, the societal, the sociological aspects, the psychological aspects, distrust in government, us versus them mentality, government not working for you, you working for the government, you being scared of the government. It's all because of people, right? Like this is all corruption, people, bad influence. And this is what Doge is essentially grappling with right now. What happens when you let the people control it?
I mean, it's people. It's really just like computers that are like it's bad software and computers. Like this is sounds kind of strange, but it's like the reason I call myself like tech support is that. Like a lot of it's mostly not corruption. It's mostly just waste and I don't know.
Governments, blind and lumbering, will try to control the digital beast, but they are too slow, too foolish, too deeply entangled in their own bureaucratic madness.
Incompetence. I don't know. It's just a big dumb machine, right. Basically, like a whole series of big dumb machines. And you've got some of these computers are like 20, 30 years, like they're ancient computers. Right. Like some of the software was written 40, 50 years ago.
It's like COBOL for Social Security, right?
Yeah, the government accountability. By the way, a bunch of the things that Doge is fixing were identified by the Government Accountability Office many years ago. Like the fact that there's like 20 million people who are marked as alive in the Social Security database. It's more than I think the GAO first identified that in 2018, so 5 years ago. But there was I think maybe 16 or 17 million. Now there's 20 million. And like I said, there's really something fishy about this because I think the nature of the fraud is they're using the fact that someone's marked as alive in that database in order to extract fraud from other databases.
Right.
That's the bank shot trick. It's like a pool.
Yeah.
It's like trying to get the ball in the hole. You bank shot it off a bunch of things, and then that's the bank shot sort of scam. I think AI actually will be very helpful with medical stuff because AI can like look at all the studies and look at all the data, cross-check everything, and give you good recommendations. I mean, even as it is, like right now, you can upload like your X-rays and your MRI images to Grok, and it'll give you a medical diagnosis. And that diagnosis, from what I've seen, is at least as good as what, if not, I think. So I've certainly seen cases where it's actually better than what doctors tell you.
Phenomenal for blood work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally take a photograph of your blood work, like the page, upload from your phone, upload that to Grok, and it will tell you it'll understand what all the data results are, and tell you if there's something wrong.
The digital superintelligence looms on the horizon, not a mere tool, but a force, an intelligence beyond our comprehension, a god in the making.
Making some sort of digital superintelligence seems like it could be dangerous. That's actually what I think the biggest danger is for AI is that if AI is implicitly programmed, I don't think they can do it explicitly, but implicitly programmed with values that lead to that have led to the destruction of downtown San Francisco, and a bunch of these AI companies are in either in San Francisco or in the San Francisco Bay Area, then you could implicitly program an AI to believe that extinction of humanity is what it should try to do. I mean, if you take that guy who was on the front page of the New York Times, and you take his philosophy, which is prevalent in San Francisco, the AI could conclude, like he did, that there are where he literally says there are 8 billion people in the world, it would be better if there were none, and engineer that outcome. If you say, like, what is the most likely outcome of AI, I think the most likely outcome to be specific about it is a good outcome, most likely a good outcome, but it's not for sure. So I think we have to be careful how we program the AI, and make sure that it is not accidentally anti-human. The accidentally extinctionist AI. We wouldn't want that.
Or even pruning.
Well, that is kind of how it works. Is that these what they call large language models, but it's really just a big pile of numbers, and how you tune those numbers matters. It's like pruning a tree. You could have a mighty oak. You could be a little bonsai or a mighty oak.